Amelia and Daniel met in a crowded cafe on a rainy afternoon, where the aroma of coffee and damp earth filled the air. She was a writer, lost in her thoughts, and he was an architect, sketching the lines of a building that would never be built. Their eyes met across the room, and for a moment, the noise around them faded. Daniel walked over, asked to share her table, and in that instant, something unspoken passed between them. It wasn't long before their shared afternoons turned into evenings, where they wandered through the city streets, talking about their dreams, fears, and the worlds they wanted to create. They fell deeply in love, bound by their passions and the quiet understanding they found in each other. But as the relationship blossomed, Daniel's career began to take off. He was offered an opportunity to design a landmark building across the country, a dream come true for him. Amelia, too, was on the brink of success, with her first novel set to be published. They both knew what these opportunities meant, but the distance felt like a shadow creeping into their perfect world. They promised to make it work, to keep their love alive despite the miles between them, but as days turned into months, their connection began to fray. The late-night phone calls became shorter, their letters less frequent. Amelia poured her heart into her writing, trying to capture the ache of missing Daniel in the pages of her stories, while Daniel threw himself into his work, building structures that stood tall, even as his relationship crumbled. They met a few times during the year, but each visit was more bittersweet than the last. The warmth they once shared felt distant, buried under the weight of their separate lives. Eventually, the silence between them became too loud to ignore, and they both knew, without saying it, that love wasn't enough to bridge the growing divide. One spring evening, Amelia received a final letter from Daniel. In it, he wrote of the love they had shared, how it had shaped him, but also how they had both changed. With tears in her eyes, she read his words, feeling the last thread of their connection unravel. She walked to the cafe where they had first met, now faded with time, and sat at the same table, alone. As the rain began to fall again, Amelia realized that some love stories, no matter how beautiful, are meant to be written in the past.